Dear friends, I'm 88 years old. Yes, 88. I live alone in a quiet neighborhood in Florida. Every morning, right at 6 a.m., I put on a light jacket, wear the old hat my late wife left behind, and walk 2 to 3 kilometers around my neighborhood. No cane. No assistance. I walk with ease and comfort, no joint pain, no knee stiffness, and no more dragging heavy, swollen legs like I used to. Some days, I even go the extra round, just to hear the birds sing or to wave at the neighbor watering his plants on the porch. After a few laps like that, someone will always ask, with surprise in their voice, "How old are you again, sir? You still walk like that?" I just smile and say, 88, ma'am. And my legs have never felt better. Then comes the follow-up. What do you eat? Any special medicine? And I chuckle. No medicine. No doctor. Just an oil. A simple oil you probably already have in your kitchen cabinet, just forgotten in the corner. That's why I made this video. Not to brag about my age or how well I walk, but to tell you a true story based on my own experience. Because I know many of you watching, whether you're 60, 70, or beyond, are going through what I once did. Heavy legs, sore knees, tired after just a few steps, waking at night with cramps, and fearing even short walks during the day. I'm not a doctor. I'm just an old man who's lived long and paid attention. And now I want to share something that changed my life. A small daily habit involving a simple oil that brought surprising results. If you're ready, let me take you through it. From the time when walking from my chair to the kitchen felt like a burden, to the day I stumbled across a forgotten bottle that became a turning point. And how, in just 7 days, not only my legs, but my outlook, transformed completely. But for you to truly understand why I cherish my morning walk so much today, I need to tell you about a time, not even 6 months ago, when life looked very different. Back then, just walking from my armchair in the living room to the kitchen felt like a full-blown expedition. Every step I took felt like something was pulling me back. My ankles would swell, my calves ached constantly, and my knees throbbed like there were pins stuck in them every time I tried to bend. At night, I couldn't sleep through. I would doze off only to be jolted awake by a cramp, sharp, intense, and unforgiving. I'd jump out of bed in pain, cold sweat on my back, gripping the wall, waiting for the muscle to stop twisting. By morning, I'd have dark circles under my eyes, feeling exhausted before the day even began. My legs had started to swell more and more. Especially in the afternoons, even putting on sandals felt tight. I'd sit with my feet propped up on a chair, hoping the swelling would go down, but it never really did. I walked with hesitation. I feared falling. Me, the same man who once hiked up mountains, who used to garden every day, now found himself staring out the window, afraid to step off the porch. I began to feel like I was slowly fading. Not just physically but mentally. It's a strange pain, to feel betrayed by the very legs that have carried you through decades of life. I tried many things. Someone recommended joint supplements. I took them. A friend told me to buy a leg massager. I ordered it. I even tried full rest, thinking if I stayed still, my body would recover. But the more I rested, the heavier and stiffer my legs became. I asked the doctor, and his answer was simply, "You're getting older, sir. You'll have to accept it." That sentence hit me hard. Accept it? I didn't want to spend the rest of my life with aching legs. Not because I wanted to feel young again, but because I wanted to feel alive. I wanted to walk around my house on my own. I wanted to pick herbs from the garden. I wanted to walk down the street and greet my neighbors without needing someone to hold my hand. I wasn't asking for a miracle. I just wanted one thing. Legs strong enough to take me on a gentle walk in the morning and bring me home safely. And just when I thought I had run out of options, just when I was about to give up, I found something that changed everything. Not a medicine, not a machine, but something small and forgotten, sitting quietly in my own kitchen. I found it entirely by accident. It was a quiet Sunday afternoon. Rain was falling gently outside, and since I couldn't go for my walk, I decided to clean out a few old kitchen drawers, something I'd been putting off for years. There were expired spices, some dusty old tea bags, and then my hand touched a small brown glass bottle, capped with a rusty metal lid. The label had faded, handwritten in old ink, but I could just barely make out the word, "Rosemary." I opened it. A strong, warm herbal scent hit me, sharp yet comforting. It was both spicy and cool, earthy and clean. And just like that, the scent pulled me into an old memory, my late wife. She used to rub this oil on her knees and back whenever the weather turned. Said it helped her sleep better, eased her body, and soothed her aches. After she passed, I tucked away all her belongings into a box. I couldn't bring myself to throw them out, but I also hadn't touched them in years. Somehow, this little bottle had ended up buried in the back of the kitchen drawer. I sat down at the kitchen table, holding the bottle in my hand for a long while. There was a tightness in my chest, part sorrow, part wonder. It had been so long since I'd smelled this oil. And now, here it was reappearing just when I felt like I had run out of answers. No one told me to try it. No doctor, no article. Just a small nudge in my gut. Why not? I poured a few drops into my palm, rubbed my hands together to warm the oil, and gently massaged it into my left calf, the one that always tingled and felt numb. At first it felt cool. Then came a slow, comforting warmth. The scent filled the room, the same one I remembered from nights when my wife used to massage her back before bed. I moved my hands slowly upward from my ankle to my knee. I wasn't pressing hard. There was no rush, just simple, mindful touch. It felt like I was reconnecting with my own legs for the first time in years. That night I slept deeply. No cramps. No sudden jolts of pain. No tossing and turning or dreams of falling on the pavement. I wondered, was it the oil? The next morning I did it again. Same few drops. Same quiet moment. Then again that evening. And again the next day. Twice a day, no expectations. I wasn't hoping for a miracle. I just figured if it helped me sleep, that was already a gift. But then on the third day, I noticed something else. My ankles weren't as swollen. On the fourth day, I stepped into my front yard without holding onto the door frame. And on the fifth day, I walked all the way to the mailbox, nearly 200 meters, and came back without needing to sit down once. I stood at the front step, mail in hand, heart in my throat. Not because the oil was magic, but because I had just regained something I thought I'd lost forever. Trust in my own body. All from a tiny bottle of oil, forgotten in a drawer. But it became the first step in a recovery that would change not just my legs, but my spirit. How I used it daily. After 5 days of clear improvement, I began to take this seemingly simple act more seriously. Applying rosemary oil every day. I used to think things like this were, for women, just little routines to pass time. But now I see nothing is trivial when it helps you walk stronger and live better. I turned this habit into a quiet ritual. Nothing fancy, nothing complicated, but something I gave my full attention to with respect for my aging body. I applied the oil twice a day, once in the morning after freshening up and once at night just before going to bed. In the morning it helped wake up my legs for the day ahead. In the evening, it felt like washing off the weight of the day, gently wiping away the fatigue, the tension. Here's my simple routine. Step 1. Clean and warm the skin. I always made sure my legs were clean, either right after a warm shower or at least after wiping them down with a warm cloth. Clean skin helps the oil absorb better and just feels nicer. I usually warm the bottle by holding it in my hands for a few minutes or placing it near a mug of warm water. Warm oil feels more soothing and penetrates deeper. Step 2. Apply oil from the bottom up. I used about 5 to 6 drops of rosemary oil in my palm. I rubbed my hands together to spread and warm the oil, then started at my ankles, using small, gentle circular motions. Slowly, not with pressure, just contact and warmth. I worked my way up toward the calves, an area that used to feel stiff and swollen. I didn't press hard. I kept the pressure light but steady, always massaging upward toward the heart. This encourages blood flow and helps reduce heaviness and fluid retention. When I reached the knees, I spent a bit more time there. I gently cupped my hands over the kneecaps and massaged in wide, slow circles. This area used to ache the most when the weather changed, so I gave it a little extra care. Next came the thighs. Most people skip this part, but not me. The thighs carry a lot of the effort when we walk, balance, or get up from a chair. I used both hands to stroke gently upward from the knee toward the mid-thigh, as if I were embracing my own legs. It felt incredibly grounding. I spent about 6 to 8 minutes per leg. I didn't rush. I breathed deeply as I massaged, turning the routine into a kind of moving meditation. Step 3. Rest and elevate the legs. After massaging, I would lie down, on my bed or a long chair, and elevate my legs with a couple of pillows about 8 to 12 inches off the ground. I stayed like that for 10 to 15 minutes. No phone, no TV, just stillness and breath. I called it my quiet moment of the day, the space where I wasn't doing anything except listening to how my legs and body felt. Now, some people ask, should I mix it with anything else? Some folks do mix rosemary oil with almond oil or olive oil to tone down the intensity. Personally, I use it pure because I like the strong scent and my skin handles it fine. But if you have sensitive skin, I recommend trying just 1 drop on your forearm and waiting a few hours to make sure there's no reaction. But more important than the oil itself, or any technique, is this. Are you willing to give your body a little bit of your time? Because for me, this simple practice isn't just about circulation or pain relief. It's the way I tell my body, I'm here. I'm taking care of you. I still respect what you do for me. The first 7 days, a small surprise each day. I didn't keep a written journal. But strangely enough, I remember every day from that first week so vividly, because each day in its own quiet way my body answered me. Subtly, gently, but unmistakably. And above all, it gave me hope. Right from the first night I applied the oil, I felt something shift. I fell asleep more easily. I didn't wake up from cramps like usual. There was no sudden pain, no twisting muscle to jolt me from sleep. I woke up the next morning feeling lighter. My legs still felt stiff, but that heavy, stone-like sensation, it was gone. On the second day, I slept even deeper. I didn't need to prop my legs up with 3 pillows like before, and yet there was no swelling. When I got out of bed, I noticed something surprising. I didn't have to pause to regain balance. Normally, I'd stand still for a few seconds before daring to take a step. But that morning, I walked straight into the living room as if my body had already booted up for the day. By the 3rd day, I ventured into the garden. Just a few slow laps around the small rows of vegetables. Normally, I just sit and look at the plants. But that day I stood, walked, moved, not shakily, not hesitantly. For the first time in months, I walked without fear. No fear of falling. No knee pain flaring up. That feeling, it was like freedom. On day 4, I noticed the skin on my legs was softer, brighter. Old dark spots on my calves began to fade. It felt like blood was finally flowing properly again. The skin looked healthier. I hadn't expected this. I didn't even think oil could do that. But more than the skin, what surprised me most was that I was reconnecting with my legs. I used to resent them. Now I was beginning to trust them again, to treat them like a part of me that deserved care. On the 5th day, I walked to the mailbox at the end of the street. It's not far, about 200 meters, but for me it had been a huge challenge. That morning, I walked there, collected my mail, and walked home without needing to rest once. When I got back to my front door, I just stood there. Not tired, not out of breath, just humbled. Not because I walked far, but because I had just walked through a belief I'd long held, that my best days were behind me. Suddenly, I saw a new truth. Maybe, just maybe, I could still change. Not turn back the clock, but move forward with strength and purpose. On the 6th day, I walked an extra loop around the neighborhood. Nobody asked me to. My body wanted to. I stood longer while cooking. I even tried a few gentle stretches my late wife used to do, and to my surprise, I could do them without pain or stiffness. It felt like my body was unlocking long-forgotten movements. And then came day 7. I didn't do anything special. I just sat on my front porch with a warm cup of tea, watching the trees sway in the breeze. On the table beside me, the little bottle of rosemary oil and a soft towel. I looked down at my legs, not to check for pain but to smile. Because I knew I had just walked through a full week, not just with my legs, but with a changed spirit. I no longer felt afraid to go outside. I didn't dread stairs. I didn't feel helpless asking for help. Instead, I felt something deeply precious, freedom. After 7 days, I won't claim that rosemary oil is a miracle, but I can say this with confidence. In that 1 week, I took steps I hadn't dared to dream about for months. I didn't just regain strength, I regained a sense of agency, of connection, and most of all, belief that my body, even at 88, still had life left to give. And sometimes all it takes is a pair of hands, a few drops of oil, and 10 quiet minutes a day to whisper to your legs, "I'm still here. I haven't given up on you. And I won't, not anymore." Why it works, a simple explanation of the science. After 7 days of undeniable change, I began to wonder, how could such a small bottle of oil make such a big difference? I'm no doctor, but after living nearly a century, I've learned one thing. If something makes you feel better, whether it's a food, a habit, or a bottle of oil, there's usually a reason behind it. So I started digging a little deeper. I read articles, asked my granddaughter, she's a nurse, and discovered this. Rosemary oil isn't just folk wisdom. It's backed by modern science and used in traditional medicine for generations. First, rosemary oil helps boost peripheral blood circulation, especially in areas like the legs and feet, where blood tends to stagnate as we age. According to a European study, regular application of rosemary oil helps stimulate blood flow, thanks to a natural compound called rosmarinic acid. This substance causes gentle vasodilation, meaning it helps blood vessels relax slightly, allowing better circulation to the tissues in your legs. Second, rosemary oil contains natural anti-inflammatory compounds that reduce swelling and ease pain in muscles and joints. That dull ache in the knees and calves, what we often call weather pain, is often due to mild inflammation in the tissues. When you apply the oil, it doesn't just sit on the skin. It penetrates deeper, calming the inflammation from within. Third, and this surprised me, the aroma of rosemary, something I thought was just a pleasant side effect, actually plays a vital role. This strong but soothing herbal scent stimulates the central nervous system, helping improve alertness, mental clarity, and even reducing mild anxiety. In ancient Greece, students used to wear sprigs of rosemary in their hair before exams to help them focus. And let's not forget the massage itself. That upward motion from ankle to thigh helps your lymphatic system and veins push fluid back toward the heart, reducing water retention and swelling, common struggles for older adults like me. In short, there's no magic here. Just a natural essential oil, paired with a simple conscious act of self-care, repeated consistently. And even at 88, the body responds when treated with kindness, attention, and a little bit of patience. 3 complementary oils to combine for stronger results. After learning why rosemary oil worked so well, I began wondering, are there other natural oils that could help aging legs like mine? And if so, can we combine them to enhance the effects? The answer is yes. And not just one, but at least 3 essential oils have been researched and traditionally used to treat common leg issues in older adults. Swelling, varicose veins, muscle soreness, bruising, or even sleep disturbances from nighttime cramps. Below are the 3 oils I explored in depth and have personally experimented with. Each has its own properties, and when used correctly, they complement each other like a team, working quietly to help your legs feel better every day. 1. Arnica oil, for inflammation, muscle pain, and bruises. Arnica is a bright yellow-orange flower that grows in European mountain regions. Its extract has long been recognized as a natural pain-relieving herb, especially effective for bruising or minor swelling, muscle aches from overuse or aging, mild fluid retention in legs or feet. Arnica contains a powerful anti-inflammatory compound called helonalin. When massaged into sore or bruised areas, helonalin helps dilate blood vessels, increase local circulation, and reduce inflammation, helping bruises fade faster and easing muscle tightness. However, do not apply arnica oil directly on broken skin, open wounds, or irritated areas, as it can cause a stinging or itching reaction, especially for sensitive skin. It's best to dilute it in a carrier oil like almond or olive oil, typically at a 1:3 ratio before use. I personally use arnica on days when my legs feel extra sore, or after longer walks. After diluting, I gently massage it into my calves and knees, and within 10 to 15 minutes, I can feel the heaviness lifting. 2. Lavender oil, to calm nerves, ease cramps, and improve sleep. If arnica is the muscle warrior, lavender is the peacekeeper, a natural remedy for both body and mind. Lavender oil contains 2 main compounds, linalool and linalool acetate, that are known to calm the nervous system and reduce anxiety, relax muscle spasms and prevent nighttime cramps, regulate heart rate and improve sleep quality. For seniors who struggle with sleep or wake frequently due to cramping, rubbing lavender oil into the calves or soles of the feet before bed can make a big difference. The gentle aroma helps activate the parasympathetic nervous system, preparing the body for deep rest. When combined with massage, lavender also helps release soft tissue tension, improves skin elasticity, and reduces chronic pain from long-term stiffness. I often mix 2 drops of lavender with 4 drops of carrier oil and rub it into my legs before bedtime, especially on colder nights or after an active day. Within minutes, I feel calm, my legs feel soothed, and I drift off much more easily. 3. Horse chestnut oil, to strengthen veins and reduce swelling. The third oil, less popular but incredibly valuable, is horse chestnut oil extracted from the seeds of the horse chestnut tree. Its power lies in a compound called essin, which has been shown to increase the strength and elasticity of vein walls, reduce visible varicose veins, especially around the ankles and calves, decrease leg swelling caused by fluid buildup. In Europe, especially in Germany and Switzerland, horse chestnut extract is often used to treat chronic venous insufficiency, a condition where veins struggle to return blood to the heart efficiently, leading to tired, heavy legs. While some take it in capsules or apply it as a gel, the massage oil form works well too when used correctly and consistently. I use this oil whenever my ankles begin to puff up, usually on hot days or after sitting too long. A light massage from ankle to knee for 10 minutes reduces that tight sock feeling significantly. Note, if you're on blood thinners or have clotting disorders, speak with your doctor before using horse chestnut oil, as essin may mildly affect blood clotting. How to combine these oils effectively. After trying them individually, I eventually created a simple blend for use a few times a week. Carrier oil like almond or coconut 1 teaspoon, approximate 5 milliliters. Rosemary oil 3 drops. Arnica oil 2 drops. Lavender oil 2 drops. Horse chestnut oil 1 drop. Shake gently, warm between your palms, then apply from ankle to thigh using upward strokes. Pair with deep breathing and light leg elevation afterward. I don't use this mix every day, usually 2 to 3 times per week, to give my body time to rest and reset. The best part? You don't have to use all 3 every time. Listen to your body. On days with muscle soreness, use arnica. On restless nights, use lavender. When your ankles swell, reach for horse chestnut. And when in doubt, rosemary oil remains my most trusted friend. Habits that boost results. I believe this, even the best oil is just a tool. And a tool only works if you use it properly at the right time and combine it with healthy daily habits. After applying rosemary oil consistently, I realized there are a few very simple habits that, when practiced alongside, can double or even triple the benefits for your legs. You don't need expensive tools. No special equipment. Just a few minutes a day and a small shift in how you care for yourself. 1. Walk every day, the more consistent the better. I started walking again on day 3 of using rosemary oil as I mentioned earlier. At first just a few laps around the yard, then around the neighborhood. One day I even walked 2 full kilometers, without feeling tired. Walking isn't about exercise, it's about helping your legs pump blood. As you move, the leg muscles contract and relax, which creates a natural push that helps blood return to the heart, easing swelling and poor circulation. Here's my advice. Walk 15 to 20 minutes a day. Wear soft, comfortable shoes. No need to rush, walk slowly, steadily with good posture. Let each step be a thank you to your legs for carrying you. 2. Gentle exercises for strength and flexibility. I don't go to the gym, but I spend 5 to 10 minutes each morning doing 3 simple exercises. Heel raises, stand behind a chair. Rise onto your toes, then lower down slowly. Repeat 10 to 15 times. Strengthens the calves, helping with blood return. Leg extensions, sit in a chair. Extend one leg forward, hold for 5 seconds, then lower. Switch sides. Strengthens thighs and supports knee joints. Ankle circles, sit or lie down. Lift one leg and rotate the ankle in circles, 10 each way. Improves mobility and reduces stiffness. You can do these while watching TV or listening to the radio. They take almost no time, but the impact is real. 3. Eat for circulation and inflammation relief. I don't follow strict diets, but after seeing improvements in my legs, I've paid more attention to what I eat. I now include more of these: ginger, turmeric, garlic, natural anti-inflammatories and circulation boosters, berries, strawberries, blueberries, grapes high in antioxidants that protect blood vessels, fatty fish, like salmon, mackerel rich in omega-3s for reducing inflammation, plenty of water, at least 1.5 liters of plain water daily. Thick blood flows poorly, leading to swelling. I also reduced salty foods, processed items, and sugary sodas. 4. Sleep well, rest right, and elevate your legs. Good sleep helps your tissues regenerate, your lymph system work better, and your legs recover faster. I try to go to bed by 10 p.m., and I avoid screens after 9 p.m. Every afternoon after walking, I also lie down and elevate my legs with a pillow for 10 to 15 minutes. This helps blood flow back to the heart and reduces swelling before dinner. 5. Listen to your body and respect its limits. Some days I walk 2 kilometers. Other days only 500 meters. Some days I apply the oil twice. Some days just once. The most important thing is, listen and adjust to how your body feels. Because self-care isn't a race, it's a relationship with your body, one day at a time with small, honest, and essential acts. I know that after sharing my journey of improving my legs and everything I applied, many people will have questions. Some may say, I'm already over 80, will this still work for me? Or, I have varicose veins, is it safe to use this oil? And that's something I deeply appreciate, because when you ask questions, it means you truly care about your body. Here are the most common questions I receive, and the answers from real experience. Nothing exaggerated, nothing sugar-coated. Question 1. I'm over 80, will it still work? I'm 88 years old. If you had asked me this question 6 months ago, I might have smiled sadly. Because back then, I also thought I was too old for anything to improve. But no. The human body has an incredible ability. It can always recover, slowly maybe, but surely, as long as we treat it kindly. The oil is just the beginning. If you also add in the habits we discussed earlier, gentle walking, better food, daily stretching, then age is no longer a barrier. You just need to be patient and gentle with yourself. Question 2. I have varicose veins, can I still use the oil? The answer is, yes you can, with caution. If you have visible or diagnosed varicose veins, avoid strong pressure or deep massage on those areas. Use light, upward strokes only. Stop if you feel pain, heat, or any unusual skin reaction. Also, elevating your legs after massage, as mentioned earlier, can really help blood flow back toward the heart and ease heaviness. Question 3. I'm a man, is this really for me? Let me be clear, self-care doesn't have a gender. Whether you're a man or a woman, you have muscles, joints, veins, and all of them need love and attention. One of my oldest friends, a proud, strong man, used to think using oil or massaging his legs was too soft. But just 4 days into using rosemary oil each night, he said something I'll never forget. I haven't felt this light and agile in my legs for over 10 years. Question 4. How long should I use the oil? You can use it daily, long-term, there's no hard limit. However, here's what I recommend. Twice a day for the first 7 to 10 days. Then reduce to once a day or 3 to 4 times a week depending on your body's response. If you notice dry skin or mild irritation, dilute the oil with a carrier oil like almond or olive oil. The key is to listen to your body. Don't force it. Don't rush it. Question 5. What if I don't see results after a week? I understand expectations. I had them too. But every body is different. If you sit most of the day, if your diet includes too much salt or sugar, if you're on medications with side effects, if your legs have been neglected for years, then your recovery may take longer. Remember, you're not just rubbing on some oil. You're rebuilding a relationship with your own body. And like any meaningful relationship, it takes time and trust. I hope these answers help you feel more confident and clear as you begin or continue this journey to care for your legs. There's something I wish I had realized earlier. For decades, I lived without truly acknowledging my legs. I only noticed them when they hurt, when they couldn't carry me, when I had to stop and catch my breath after just a few steps. I blamed them for getting weak, for not being what they once were. But I never once said thank you. These legs have walked me through so much in life, taking my children to school, standing in the kitchen for hours, walking beside my late husband, cleaning the house for the holidays, rushing to the hospital when my first grandchild was born. And yet, I only paid attention when they began to fail. That is, until one day as I was rubbing oil on my knee, my hand stopped, and I began to cry. Not from pain, but from a deep sense of tenderness. My legs, thin and bruised in places, the skin loose with age, veins visible under the light, but still here, still carrying me, still trying their best, every single day. That's when I knew it was time to stop blaming them and start caring for them. Not because I wanted to look younger, not to prove anything to anyone, but because they deserve it. Now, every evening I have a small ritual. I warm the oil in my hands. I gently touch my legs from ankle to thigh. I take my time, not rushing, not distracted, just me and my body. It's no longer a chore. It's a quiet daily thank you. And the most surprising thing? Since I started doing this, my legs have responded. I don't need a cane to walk. I can climb stairs without hesitation. I can stand in the kitchen again without the sharp ache. I feel myself again. Not younger, but stronger, more grounded, and more at peace. I share this not to impress you, but to remind you, it's never too late to love your legs again. It's never too late to reconnect with your body, the very one that's carried you through your entire life. You don't need expensive oils. You don't need an hour of free time. You just need 5 to 10 quiet minutes a day with a little oil and a lot of care. A gentle stroke, a deep breath, a loving look at the legs that have never once stopped showing up for you. That's enough to begin a real change. If you're still wondering, will it really help? Please, I beg you, don't wait another 10 years. Don't wait until walking becomes impossible. Don't wait until someone else has to lift you step by step. Start tonight. When you're about to turn off the light and go to bed, just pause for a moment and look down at your legs. Place your hand on them, gently, and say, I know I've ignored you, but from today forward, I'll treat you differently. If this story touched you, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Tell me, how old are you? How are your legs doing today? I read every single message, and who knows, your words might be the encouragement someone else needs right now. And if you found this video helpful, please consider sharing it with a loved one, a parent, a grandparent, or a friend. A small action today could change someone's tomorrow. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here. May you and your legs enjoy many more peaceful, grounded, and grateful days ahead.